can you do the work of the Lord if you don't know what matters to His heart? A lot of us are doing things that God didn't ask us to do. Because we don't pray and ask God, what is the matter that is going on in this world right now that you want us to teach about, that you want us to pray about, to fast about? We have people going to church for 7 years to that same church, but they're still tempted and they're still involved in the things of this world. When you are truly in the presence of God, I'm telling you, your flesh will be so uncomfortable that it has no choice but to change. The sin in you will have no choice but to beg for forgiveness in the presence of God. If you are going to a church and you've been going there for several times, for several years, and there is no change in your language, there is no change in your lifestyle, there's no change in who you are, your personality, you are not changing, something is wrong. Not only that, leaving sin out is one thing, but if there is no elevation, then I'm going to tell you something. Not elevating where you are right now, then you are not receiving growth. People are not planting and not watering your seed for you to grow. Something is wrong. Your prayer life should be different. What is depression?
As in, like, you don't really see a future, you don't really see tomorrow. You're like stuck in the past and stuck in what you're going through. Like, you don't have any hope for tomorrow. Yeah, like lack of hope.
That's it.
You never experienced it? Well, that's something to clap up for, you guys. Yeah, y'all here know. Y'all like, okay, this is y'all. No, I've never like, that's a good thing that he never experienced it, right? And we don't want that on someone. Like, I know majority of people have gone through that because it's like something that happens that occurs in life, but it doesn't mean like, okay, you have to go through it.
It was like a period of time where I feel like no one wanted to hear what I had to say. I was always a back burner in everybody's life. When I killed myself, I was like, if I was gone, no one would care. They didn't care if I was in the room anyways. I felt alone in every room that I put myself in. So there was no need to be here.
Is this something that like you feel like you're still experiencing?
A little bit, but I just go to God about it.
Okay. So some like a little bit. So you still feel like you're still dealing with like wait what?
That I'm not hurt.
That you're not hurt still?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything like that makes you feel that way? Do you feel like you're actually not hurt, or do you feel like it's just that's just you your thoughts playing with you?
No, I actually do feel like I'm not heard.
Okay.
Anytime.
And do you feel like is that because I'm just asking questions just so we can understand, because we were all talking, right? So we could see the roots of this. We don't want to just stay surface level. If you don't want to go deeper, that's fine. That's up to you. But do you feel like maybe you're not heard because of the way, or are you one of those people when you enter the room, you stay in the corner intentionally and you wait for people to come to you, or you just feel like people just don't acknowledge you enough?
No, I'm actually friendly. I talk to people. Seriously. So, being acknowledged, I don't really seek validation or anything like that, but I just feel like people just want to hear themselves talk all the time whenever I talk to them. So I'm just like, okay, let me just back up or whatever. Let's let you finish talking. They still keep talking. Like, what's going on here? I thought we were having a conversation.
So you feel like they talk at you and not with you?
Exactly.
Anyone else in here feel like that? Or has experienced that? Like, you feel like people talk at you and not with you? Because I saw some expressions in the crowd, so just want to make sure.
I know sometimes I talk at people. Y'all need to hear me. That's a habit I do. Like, I'm trying to break, because sometimes I'm talking, and I'm like, oh shoot, what about you? How's your day? What have you got anything to comment on what I'm saying? But I do stop and do that, but still, it's something, a habit to break.
When that happens, like, are you intentionally like trying to talk at the person, or is it something like that's you just excited to talk to?
Me, I'm very excited to talk to people. Okay. I'm like super hyper about it.
So for someone who do that, what would you say to someone like Jamesia, who's on the other end, who feels like she's being talked at? Like, what would you say coming from you?
I would say pause, like, because at that point it's like you're talking to a wall. I like to hear feedback, so I'm gonna pause and be like, what you think? Like, or I'm gonna, Dan, you don't want to talk to me? Okay, bye.
But that's still from your perspective.
Yeah.
Since it's her.
Oh,
Do you feel like she should take it personally? Like, let's say you're talking to Jamesia and you start getting like excited. Do you feel like she should take it personally? Like, let's say it's you talking to her. Like the fact that you're talking at her, would you say for her to take it personally?
honestly, I don't know, because it really depends on the person. But you should speak up and be like, I didn't even get to say anything. Like, don't you want to hear what I have to say? Or be like, hold on. Say what you gotta say.
Be on hold on.
Yeah. Be like, hold on, say what you gotta say. And then, or be like, wait, let me tell you what I have to say. Like, I don't know.
Just the sense of speaking up.
Yeah.
If a person is, I mean, if someone's talking at you, I don't feel like that's a good thing. Like, you know, we having a conversation, we're having a conversation, and the person's just running out, just keep going, like the cup running over, then I probably would be like, okay, wait, hold on. But if someone's speaking at you, I feel like that's confrontational, so I wouldn't engage in a conversation.
Or pointing out to them, like, be like, you don't even let me get a word in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you want to talk to me or at me? I'm not a wall. Oh, that's me talking to them. Don't say it like that. But be like, you're not even giving me a chance to give you any feedback, or be like, you know you do this. Sometimes you gotta let them know, because I never noticed I used to do it.
I have, but you know how people are just stuck in their ways, things like that. So it's like, how do you change something like that?
Well, you can't change,
or
you
like,
can't change the person. You can always give your perspective and you know, advice on something, but you can't actually change a person unless they are willing to change. You can always, you know, give advice and stuff like that, but nobody's gonna change if they don't want to. So if you're engaged in a conversation with somebody and you feel like every time you have a conversation with them, they're just constantly talking at you, it's not benefiting you. So it'd be some where you just don't have a conversation with them at all.
Yeah.
If I could just suggest something, something that I recently learned, and I implemented with this in Monica, because I talk to her and she does the same thing to me. So I said, hey, before we start this conversation, let me know what you need from me. Either do you need to vent to me, or how I said it to you?
listening ear.
Or, well, yeah. Do you want me to listen, or do you want me to give you a solution? So I'm listening to give you a reply, or I'm just sitting there listening. Then we try to, all right. Say for instance, she's venting to me about something. She just needs me to listen. Then days later, I come back to her. Hey, do you want me to give you a solution to what we spoke about the other day? So that gives her the opportunity to say what she has to say. Then when it's my turn, I'm gonna ask her. Hey, I'm gonna tell her. Hey, I just need someone to listen right now. That's it. So you can suggest that, see if that works. But if it doesn't, then at some point you have to be an adult and just tell that person, hey, yo, I can only take so much information at this current moment, and I do have something to say, and see if that works. And if it doesn't, then you will have to try to keep finding different ways so you and this individual can be able to have a conversation with each other. Because you don't want to be the person that just only receives, taking so much, and you know you have something to say. Because it puts you, it's going to make you feel small whenever you're around this particular individual or people. Because you do not want, like how you feel, gather my thoughts. Okay, you do not want for you to be the one that's only receiving and not able to give, because there's going to come a day you're going to explode, in a sense.
That's right.
And you don't want that to happen on this individual, because they're just genuinely just trying to share. And some people do overshare, and you just gotta let them know, hey, you're sharing way too much information for me to take into the.
Yes.
That's it.
Stop talking to me, bro.
No, there's a proper way to say it. Like,
Yeah, there's a proper way to say it.
It's a lot of oversharing that happens. But,
I just voice respectfully what you think. To express that, right away, because when you go to your own home or wherever you go, you start having those thoughts in your mind that can start building up and telling you false information. You start to assume things and get assumptions or this and that and third. Everyone communicates differently. We have to get that through our mind as humans. We all communicate differently. We communicate differently based on our culture, our background, and our upbringing. Or has siblings may have the same kind of like language in a way, because they were raised in the same household. So therefore, when they're speaking to each other, they get each other immediately. Where I could say a joke to Christelle, and she don't think that's funny, but my brother thinks it's funny. What are you what's the outcome of this conversation? Are you looking for a listener, someone do you want to vent, or are you looking for help, for a solution? I think telling people that when you start will help drive the conversation. Once you are in a depressed state, what do you do to get out? How would you know?
How is that possible?
How are you going to answer it? Please, let him answer. You got to hear it, right?
You may know it.
Yeah.
I'll maybe say pray.
Okay.
Easier said than done.
Yeah,
Easier said
I'm
than
not
done.
gonna lie.
Have to go back to the first question, have I experienced depression?
Yeah.
I didn't experience like true depression, but I experienced some form of depression. And to the people I know that did go through depression, like being in a very depressed state, I know it's hard. Prayer is an effective thing, but it's hard when the person's mentality is still keeping them there. Because it's one thing to pray about something, and it's another thing to, once you finish praying, you're still thinking about that same thing that's keeping you there. Because it's kind of hard to get yourself out of that kind of situation. That's why a lot of people staying isolated is one thing. Going to drugs, sex, whatever they decide to find some form of trying to get out. Even though they think these habits is going to work, that's them fighting their way out of that thing. But it's literally a mindset thing. You have to really pull yourself out, wanting to see yourself get better, wanting to take yourself out of isolation and all those other things. I want to say like getting out is super tough. It's more than just prayer.
Well, one thing I had to learn is that I had to redirect my thoughts. I had to redirect my patterns and stuff like that. It's not to say like I don't get sad, I don't get overwhelmed, but it's kind of like when you are depressed, you depend on your emotions and you don't get nothing done, right? It's all like practicality. If you want to isolate yourself, go out with your friends, go get ice cream or something like that. And I had to learn like, okay, what I'm doing right now, it doesn't feel good, and I want to be surrounded by people because I'm I'm vulnerable right now, right? So I don't want to keep harming myself. And what do? Sometimes I call people, I journal and stuff like that. So you gotta find what is practical. Yes, prayer is effective, but sometimes we don't want to pray. Sometimes you want to go to the beach. You want to go just vent. You just want to cry. You just want to do. So you have to find like your niche to wanting to let those things out.
A lot of people tend to isolate themselves, and that actually does not help us get better, but get worse. That's when those thoughts starts coming in, because it's like you're closing the door to friends and family helping you, but you're opening the door to the devil to come in to isolate you even more, and this could even lead to more harm. Now, actually, even Christians find other forms, because we're Christians, so we tell ourselves we can't smoke and drink no more. But people nowadays, what they do is watch a series of TV shows. Just to not think about it, right? They get on Netflix or movie, whatever, close the door, watch a whole movie 2 hour long, just to avoid what's going on. So we find other mechanisms to like hide and not address that. So what would you guys say to that? Like aside from, because drugs and alcohol is not the only thing. People actually find other things.
Work.
Yeah.
Work is an overkill.
Workaholic, right?
Yeah.
I used to do that too.
Video games. Huh?
Ministry.
Oh yeah, overdoing ministry. Yes, you can get burnt out really, really quick. Depression. You'll be surprised. There's a lot of people doing ministry very, very depressed.
Yeah.
But they're using ministry as a scapegoat, thinking that they're doing good for the community, but they're doing bad for themselves. They are helping the community in a sense, but they're destroying themselves at the same time in the midst of helping somebody else. And we have work, we have ministry. Some people use their kids.
Sports. Some people overwork out. I know a lot of people who work out, go to the gym.
Go to the gym, yeah. It's binge watching shows and stuff like that. They do that. Because these things may seem positive, but they still have some form. We can't use those as some form of
retail therapy.
Escape. Oh, shopping is another thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking about that when you said ice cream, because I was like, some people do that. Like they overeat.
Yeah.
You gotta find the root first. That's the only way we're gonna be able to take them out of depression and get them to confront that very thing that they're scared of, or that's keeping them depressed. Because if you can't find the root to the thing, you will never be able to. Because you can stop it for now. We can say, for instance, we can cut the tree, or the branch of that tree down. But yeah, it's still gonna grow back because we never tend to the root itself. We never got deep enough to get to the bottom of the situation, because the enemy could come back in seasons and say, for instance, okay, I'm gonna let you live this season, but best believe once you start progressing and growing, I'm gonna catch you later down the line, because now I know you somewhat rooted a little bit. Let's see how rooted you are. So when his weeds start growing far bigger than what was already planted, or whatever work he was doing, that's when you start to see people go in this major backslide, or a harsh depression. So if we don't get to the root of the thing, then we will never be able to find out how can we actually help this individual, or help this individual confront that very thing. Because a lot of people run from stuff a lot of times, even if it's internally. It's one thing, I'm running from a person because I know I can go to my house, they can't come in my house. But but when you're running from yourself, there's no escaping that, no matter how hard you try. Because when you're going to have to go to your room, you're going to have to try to sleep. And when you sleep, that's when it's like, now everything is like a ton of break. So if we don't get into it now, the same place that you consider home is not going to be a home. It's going to feel like a jail cell.
Like, she would come at me, she would be like, get up, no, let's go, like, stop. Like, she would always, I'm not saying, not yell at me, like, in a bad way, but like, those trainers that be like, you can do it, like,
too much.
That's
right. She's your life trainer.
Yeah. So, or like, she would
her.
call me out the house, like, let's go do this, let's go do that, and I would feel better. Or like, sometimes I would be down, and like, you would text me out of nowhere and be like, are you okay? Have you been okay? And I'm like, girl, why are you in my business? How you know I'm doing this? But
You need that.
yeah.
We all need that.
Go ahead.
You don't like getting vexed?
No, I didn't say that.
Go ahead, Monica.
I would say, showing that person, like, sometimes you don't want to say anything, but just showing that person a good time and showing them that they can laugh again. Because because you don't want to just go there and be like, well, what's going on? Like, sometimes you just have to go in there and be like, what's up? Or like, just, that's how I am with some of my friends. Like, I'll be like, for me, this is what I do. Like, if I know that they're in the type of state or whatever, like, I'll go out and I'll do like a little care package or like a little something like that, like something cute, right? Like, say for instance, they like candles, I get them candles. They like something, whatever. No, I'm very intentional with
what kind of care package you do?
I'm very intentional with the little gifts I give them, right? Yeah, it's little gifts. Like,
I want to know so I can do one for my friend too.
Oh, so say for instance, like one time I had brought my friend a candle. I had brought her her favorite chocolate from Back and Beyond. Yeah, and I cooked for her and stuff like that. You know, so,
like her.
But no, for real though, like you gotta kind of show them like they can have a good time. Like you gotta show them like you could spoil them. You know, like from my.
That's a strong word right there. Spoil somebody. Ooh. I see it. I want to know what that feels like.
Oh wow. Anyway, you gotta show them like that good time. Like they're worth living for. They're worth to be loved and stuff like that. Like, cause I love acts of service. Like that's my love language too.
That is.
So that's what I want to do, so that they could remember, like, yo, this feels great. You know, like I like this. I'm getting catered to. So.
And I could really say, like, from personally knowing you, this is not something that you just doing just to do. This always has been with you. Because thinking about, like, thinking back, you always had this act of service. Like, I felt spoiled with you as a friend. Really? Whenever I went.
You good? What's up? Brand new information to me, dog. I do every day.
Really?
Monica, I think
My friend so good.
Yeah, a big care package.
What, a candle in that
Somebody needs to get Ash a care package.
A candle in that bad boy. What, a candle? Wow.
Put a little note, my bad, Ash.
The ride home is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
You put eucalyptus mint? Oh yeah, fam. You wanna take me home?
But you don't like it.
Who said that?
You.
Candles?
I think he just really wanted a candle.
No, but it's
Care
not even,
package.
like, you don't even like this stuff, so I can't spoil you.
Who's that don't like candles?
I didn't know that.
A lot of people like have thoughts in their mind, like nobody cares about them, nobody wants them around, nobody loves them. So basically being vocal and opening up to your families and friends and expressing to them how you feel, because those thoughts, like it's not even you telling yourself that, there's other outside sources that are bringing those thoughts. Those thoughts may not even be your own thoughts. So, but to like knowing that you're depressed and knowing and expressing that, not trying to hide it. And I know like being depressed is like the hardest thing for them to do is wake up, to bathe, to get dressed, and also getting help.
In that mood, bro, you don't even want to do, like, how many of y'all ever experienced heartbreak before?
I'm a boss.
You never did?
Okay,
You did? You did? Y'all experienced it. Y'all know how y'all felt, right? You never experienced it? Baby girl, you don't want to experience it, bro. You don't want to experience it. It's worse. I truly do believe
you're right.
it's far worse than breaking a bone. Because you actually know when the timetable of this could heal. You don't know the timetable of when your heart gonna heal. You can do all the power in the world. You can do everything. You can do everything in the world to try to heal it. It still takes its precious time to heal, to overcome. And being in a depressed state is almost similar to being a heartbreak. I think heartbreak supersede all the other ones. In my opinion, this is an opinion. I think heartbreak.
You can
surgery.
I don't want y'all to experience it.
Yeah,
but I
I
do believe you people have to experience it so you can understand. No, this is just an opinion, not a fact. You do have to understand what it takes to see you broken. Not saying you have to, you got to, but I do believe, in my opinion, that you have to see what yourself look like when you're broken, so you can be able to understand who you are as a healed person, so you know what not to accept from outside. But when you are heartbroken, bro, again, I think heartbroken is like number one thing. Depression is probably number two. Depression and heartbreak is almost spitting image of each other.
Being heartbreaking can bring depression.
Oh yeah, that's another thing too. But when you're depressed, like when I was heartbroken, I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to go to work. I called out from work every day. Actually, called out from work.
I'm gonna get this money so they could see me do
keep it a buck with you. I didn't care about if my bills was getting paid. I didn't care what was going on around me. people was dying. I'm like, bro, what my issues got going on is far more greater.
You said, listen,
No, I'm talking about like when you're in that state, bro, you're not
He's in a better place.
I'm like, bro, that's how I feel like. You got it way better than me right now, bro.
Oh my God.
Listen,
Shit, got worried
listen.
about me. Remember this is opinion, y'all.
I'm just telling you my experience.
But
Yeah,
no,
it's my
we respect
experience.
that.
But at that time, it was just like, it was surreal for me.
Yeah.
8 months straight crying. This is years ago. This is years ago. 8 months straight crying. Doing my best to go to school. Doing my best to go to work. Doing
So
my
high
best.
school.
Yeah, I was in high school at the time. Like slight high school, you could say. But doing my best to do all these things, knowing that nothing's fulfilling. I got a paycheck, I didn't care. Something good, like
I
my
wish
sister.
I knew you back then. You could have given it to me.
I don't think I was gonna get money now. I'm saying that it was just so much going on at one time. I could not see past my own situation to even care for the next person's situation. That's how hard it is when you're in that particular state.
Yeah, I want to add. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I want to add into that. Part of depression is like not seeing into the future. Like you don't really see. It stops right there. You're in your situation. You're in the moment that you're in, and there's nowhere out. Which is why getting professional help kind of like helps out, and being open and vocal. You have to communicate it out, because if you don't, like it's gonna be your own self, and then leading to suicidal thoughts.
Me, I'm not gonna take my problems to my siblings. I'd rather take it to like a friend that's gonna give me sound advice, rather than taking it to my siblings. That's just how we grew up, because we grew up to be strong and like like if you're dealing with a situation, you're gonna get over it. That's how it is. But me in my field, everybody can run to me with their problems, but I can't really run to nobody. So I run to my friends rather than my siblings.
I agree with that, because
What?
like my brother, like he had that same, like he was depressed, and I feel like he will always run to his friends. Like that was his number one. And there would be times where like I would catch him in a moment where he would just be real sad, real down, crying, and he would always say, I just need to talk to somebody. I just need to talk to somebody. And I would be like, you can talk to me. Like, what's going on? You can talk to me. And never talk to me.
Because I think it is, well, as for me, I can only speak for myself, a sense of judgment.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're going to judge me a little way harsher than if I bring it to my friend. Because we might be going, like, if I talk to my friend, we might be going through the same situation. But if I'm talking to you, and my siblings are a little bit older than me, so if I'm talking to them, I don't know what they've experienced. I don't think I can talk to you. Or as for me, I don't think I can talk to them. I probably can, but I just.
Have you tried?
I'm about to say,
I will only try if I'm really upset. Like, boo-hoo, crying, and they're in my presence, and I'm just spilling it out. I'm just spilling it out like, nobody's here for me, and I gotta do all of this by myself, because I'm really that person. Like, if I'm really emotional and going through something, I feel like there's nobody there. Nobody can't help me, you know? Which is a bad character trait, but like, yeah, I'll spill it out, and then I don't get nothing back. So that's why I don't go there.
So you're looking for a solution from yourself. Not saying that you was looking for a solution.
Sometimes, most of the time, yes, I'm looking for you to give me something. Like, I'm not just spilling it out for you to hear me. Give me something.
But you have to give them grace as well too. I'm just saying, this is with anybody, friends, family, whoever. You gotta give them grace, because when they're receiving this information for the very first time, and they still don't know how to process it.
Mm-hmm.
So that when they're taking, okay, wait a minute, what do I do with this, and how can I move and maneuver with this? Because when they see you're in a vulnerable state, so now they gotta process. Okay, how do I deliver what I have to say to this individual?
What do you
Compared to somebody like, if you've been like your friends, it's easy. They can tell you, hey girl, snap out of it, girl, go get this, that. Compared to when there's somebody you never, when you're doing it with somebody, when you're sharing with somebody that you're not in familiar territories with, it's kind of different, because you got to give them the opportunity to process what you just gave them, because that's heavy. As heavy it was for you, it's going to probably be heavier to them as in receiving it. But you're the one that's experiencing it.
Exactly. That's true, and I can accept that, but I'm not here for you're strong, you got it.
But
I don't got it.
But the thing about it,
That's the lowest of the lowest.
but the thing about it, if they never actually seen the opportunity, if they never seen you in your weakest state, they're gonna always presume that you're a strong individual.
That's true.
You have to give people the opportunity to see
I'm the
you
one they run.
Not saying go around make everybody see you vulnerable, but you have to let the people closest to you see that you're in a vulnerable state so that they can be able to see and understand. Hey, this person is human just like me. I like superhero movies a lot. Batman is my favorite superhero, right?
Batman?
Yeah, Batman is my number one
We
superhero.
were just saying how you don't do that.
I got a poster.
You and who?
Superhero, bro.
Put him up. You and who?
I'm just a guy.
Wendy was saying how you don't do that.
Nah, I ain't no superhero.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
You losing friendships
I
with
can't
every
break
girl.
down. I can't break down the Bible. Hold on, fam. I can't break down the Bible. I can break down the DC universe for you. After service, I got you. I got you.
Wendy was like, all he do is build Batmobiles.
See, you pay attention to details, bro. But no, but on a serious note, right?
Iron Man is way better than that.
It's the same. Cap.
No, but Iron Man can fly though. Can Batman
But
fly? I don't think.
Cap. No,
How he a Batman? He can't fly.
Batman can't fly nowhere, but Batman can just only stay in the city.
Can we
That's
stick to this first? Don't worry, I'm not there. But even those particular superheroes, they have to take off that particular thing just so they can be their vulnerable self.
Yeah.
And most people just want to accept them for that, what they see in public, and most people are not going to accept what they see behind the scenes. So which is why we do a lot too. We're going to keep this facade. Now, even when we get in a vulnerable setting, we still keep that thing on because we want people to have reverence for us in this particular thing.
Right.
But at times, you got to be vulnerable. Just be vulnerable.
Yeah,
Because one day, it's going to trickle down to your kids. This is the main reason why. It's going to trickle down to your kids. When you want your kids to be vulnerable with you, and they never seen the opportunity to be vulnerable with you, they're going to go to their friends. Because you can go, you same way you can go to speak to somebody that's inside your house, you don't speak to Have you ever actually shared with your mom some intimate stuff that you share with your friends?
No.
Exactly. That's the main reason why. It is very dangerous because if we don't share these information, huh?
She's American.
It's just older generation putting it period. They don't see
I think that
what we see today, like how things be today.
We don't know.
So imagine you have siblings or but a kid. The reason I'm saying kid because it's far more. I ain't gonna say better, but it's a little bit different because now this is someone that you truly have to protect with all fibers of your body, right? Imagine if you are the person that created a safe home for this kid, but yet anytime this kid is going through something traumatic, they run to someone that's outside their house. You're going to feel some type of way about that because it's like, whoa, why? I went through life experiences, I birthed you, I did all these things for you, and you still don't feel safe enough with me? That's gonna hurt. And even with siblings, that it happens too. Because I can say for instance, China, my sister, even though I went through some particular experience, or China went through a particular experience, and I still don't go to China about this thing, I know she might feel some type because I went to somebody else instead of going to her.
Careful about that because like think about it. If you think about Jesus and how his own home didn't receive him, and they couldn't receive any type of healing, they couldn't receive any type of breakthrough because they were familiar with him. Think about us. If we being too familiar with our families, with our siblings, how can we help them to reach breakthrough, or how can they help us? Because there's something that's in them, just like it's something that's in us. There's something that's in them that can help us, you know. So I think we really have to be careful. Yeah, like we really have to make ourselves vulnerable, you know, and to know like, no, this is not just my brother, this is not just my sister, but you know, especially like if they're a family of Christ, like this is God's chosen person, you know, God's chosen daughter or son, and they have something in them that could help me, or vice versa, you know, and plus we in this family for a reason. God put us together, you know, for a reason. So
like even I went through a situation, like I thought my mom was gonna judge me off that, but she was just like, you know, welcome me in, you like my dad, welcome me in. I never saw that side of them because they never showed it. So when I finally became vulnerable with them, I was just like, wow, you guys never showed this side. Like what happened? Like what caused you guys to want to be as vulnerable right now? But I guess they saw how I was, and that's when they basically like came down to earth with me.
that's really good.
I never like experienced depression, but
Wow, the St. Louis family.
They got a different walk. Yeah, they had a different walk.
And maybe I'm in there. No, China.
I don't think I met a boy named Dill yet. That's why. I used to think that there's nobody around. I used to think that until I realized I'm not giving nobody opportunity to be around. So you won't feel like, okay, since the closest people are not here, let me pay attention to the people that is trying to be here. Because I'm missing out those individuals too. Because you ever like something and you always see it everywhere you go? Like, say, for if you like a particular car, you're going to always see that car.
Yeah.
Right? Your brain kind of taking out everything else.
Yeah.
But now that one car is the main focus whenever you drive. So you can be going anywhere, you're going to see that car. You can see that car at a dealership. You can see that car at a gas station. You won't see that thing. Because we focus on the people that we really want close to us. But we're pushing out we blur out the people that we don't want to be there. But if we have a clear vision, there's going to be so many people in that room that you can go to. We just never give them the opportunity to be there. So it's not, and I do believe, this is an opinion, I do believe the enemy does that because he wants you to feel there's nobody around for real. You can have, like he's going to make you seem like all your friends, they got their own things, so you don't want to go to them. But yeah, there's somebody that's willing to sit there and say, hey, yo, bro, what's going on? And you thinking like, bro, why this man being assumed? Or why this person is being so friendly? And at that point, you're like, wait a minute, I'm missing something because I was just saying I need someone and this individual just came up. That could be the opportunity of you having a conversation with somebody or giving that person the opportunity to be there. But that happens a lot.
Like a parent, like who's saying, who took the training wheels off the bike, they still there, but then you gotta pedal on your own now.
Mm-hmm.
But then if something is about to happen, I got you, but I ain't gonna tell you that though, because if I tell you that, then you're not gonna, you know?
It's gonna cripple you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that what I used to do, like, going to the gym, I used to think about myself first in a way. Like, you there as an extra. I like that. It's a good time. But then if you're not around, I'm still 100%. So that you know what I'm
So I
saying?
think what you're saying is like you have to have a good, healthy balance. You
Yeah,
can't rely on people
'cause
too
you can't
much to the
just-
point where you can't help yourself.
Yeah, it can't just be about people. I need help. When you don't have it, go get it. Try your best to learn it so you can keep it for yourself too.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's always a ball. But when you have people around, I ain't gonna lie.
I think that's good because I actually know people like that who kind of rely on other people to help them through every single thing, like baby steps, and that's fine. But we talked about this before. There's a time where you have to give that baby milk. You can't baby your friends for too long because it's gonna cripple them. So we too, as friends that's giving advice, being a listening ear, we gotta know how to help to direct that person. That way it's like, hey, I'm always gonna be here for you. This is not me saying that don't come to me anymore. But I also want you to be able to help yourself out too. Because the beautiful thing is, especially about being Christians, we should be able to, like, for example, if I help Monica out, Monica should be able to get to a state where she can help someone else out. Because now if I'm helping Monica and Monica's like, oh, she's always helping me. Let me bring Christelle. Let me bring Ash. Now I'm helping this whole group. I'm the only one that's feeding into the group. Yeah. Right? You have to be able to grow too and help yourself so that you can help someone else. And I do believe that's what the mission of Christ is all about. For us to make fellowship and make discipleship. How can you do these things if you yourself, you always need, someone else to feed you, to hold the bottle, to, spoon feed you. So if that's what you're saying, I agree.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I try to do that. When somebody comes to me and you can tell me yo man, this person tell me or whatever and stuff like that. You're telling me about it. I'm like, first thing I try to ask you is what do you do?
What did you do? He always do that. What did you do about it?
What you do? What do you think about it? Before I tell you what I think, because you have a thought too. You're not a robot, bro. And I'm pretty sure you could tell me. I know if it's right. That's why I let you go first. And then if it's right, I'll let you be like, yeah, you're right, bro. So you could sometimes you don't like to think for yourself because you feel like you're not always right. You're not right. This da da da. But then bro, you got the answers already, bro.
Do you believe that antidepressants work? Why or why not?
They work for the moment.
China has something. Go ahead, China.
With antidepressants, it's kind of like going to smoke or going to drink. it's temporary, but it's also like Ash said, like it's looking for what is causing that problem, what is the root of it. But that's it. It's temporary. You have to stay on it. Like
keep
you have
that
to
happening.
continue. Like what if you get off of it? Are you gonna be good? Have you worked through your problems, or are you gonna go fall back into where you?
Oh yeah, it is. That's right.
And the thing about antidepressants is that the major side effect is suicidal thoughts. So as it is supposed to relieve you of your depressive state, but the side effect could lead you into committing suicide. So it's very,
And become a drug addict.
yeah, because it's, and the thing is, you don't take one pill and then you feel the effect right away. Some of them have like, you have to take it continuously before you actually feel the effects of the medication.
So basically, if you ever say I got suicidal thoughts or I'm super depressed, and you go see a psychiatrist, they're gonna prescribe you antidepressants. Depending what states and depending on what doctor you have or psychiatrist you may have. They're going to subscribe you. Not actually said not only one. Like they're not going to prescribe you just one pill. They're not going to prescribe one. They're going to prescribe multiple, but you have to continuously taking it either two, 3 times a day. Yeah, and that's another thing. It's not an easy thing to get off either. Cause I know with I might be saying this wrong. I know the drug itself, but I might be saying this wrong. Percocets, right? With Percocets, they usually give it to
You keep taking it, and once you stop taking it, you're like, oh no, I need them again to make me happy. Like, you become dependent on it for your happiness or for your well-being, and
Yeah.
that's
And
where it
there's
becomes
also
addictive.
like a spiritual side of it. Like not every medications that pharmaceutical companies create doesn't have spiritual things that are added in those medications. So as you're taking that medication, it can worsen the experiences that you have. It kind of like basically shuts you out. That person is still there, but like they're shut out. So like their behaviors is pleasant, but really to them they don't feel themselves, which is why some people like they will get off that medication because they're like, I just want, I want to feel myself. They get off the medication, and then once they start spiraling to according to their families and friends, they're like, okay, yeah, I'm a better person in the medication, but they don't really feel like that's themselves on those medications.
it works temporarily, but you have to continuously using it. But in the midst of you continuously using it, you become an addict to that thing. And now, once you need to get off of it, you won't be able to get off because your body's going to start telling you, you need this to survive.
Let me ask all y'all a personal question. Let's say you guys were all licensed and legal to prescribe, you work in the medical field, to prescribe someone, and you're a Christian, to prescribe someone these pills. Would you personally do it?
No. That's why I never went to that field. Because I had the opportunity to either be a psychologist, the one that talks to people, give them therapy, or be a psychiatrist, the one that prescribes drugs.
Yeah.
I do believe that even with Advil, Tylenol, I do my best to try to stay away from them. But if I know I get a serious major headache, I'll take it so my body doesn't be so dependent on it. But even though those are over-the-counter drugs, I still wouldn't subscribe drugs to any individual because there is long-term damaging effect with anything in life. Whatever you try to do to your body using outside, your body will need that your body will use that as a dependency down the line. So that's why certain things you're not supposed to give your body, in a sense.
That's true. Because
you don't want it to be like, say for instance, I don't drink coffee. Most people drink coffee, the reason being to keep them up throughout the day. If 6 o'clock hits and I know I'm tired, I want to go to sleep. So I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I go to sleep. Coffee's still going to keep you up. The caffeine is still going to keep you running. So a lot of people are like, man, I've been up all night. Why? I've been drinking coffee for so on for these particular things. So now when they get to a certain time of day, they can't sleep at that particular time due to the fact they drink coffee at 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And there's other stuff as well, like energy drinks. That's why I don't drink energy drinks either. Once I started learning that what can do long-term damage to the body, even though it does not seem that way, because we only hear about drugs doing those things. Right. But the stuff that they sell at stores can do some long-term damage as well to an individual. That's why I don't do my best to not take. And so to that question, that's the reason I didn't choose that profession.
What would you say to someone right now, like who's watching, who probably is taking antidepressant pills? Like, what advice would you give that person?
As hard as it is, to live within your own skin with dealing with this. You know, it's gonna be harder to live with yourself while taking something to suppress that very feeling. Because, you know, we have to view ourselves as fighters and know that we're conquerors, and know that we have the willpower to change it. And it's really your mind. It's a thought process. You gotta like really start thinking positive. You know what? Today I'm gonna have a good day, because the truth is, like, we're too reliant on our feelings. That's what causes to be depressed. You know, because it's a state of emotions, it's a state of frustration, anxiety, all these different things that cause you to be depressed. Why? You're depressed because your bill didn't get paid. You're depressed because somebody broke up with you. You're depressed because nothing is moving in the direction that you want. We're too reliant on our feelings. That's what causes us to be depressed. But if we start looking at life on another light, we will start to appreciate the things of life more, and we put too much value on the materialistic things. You know, you gotta look at life like, dang, I'm alive, I'm well. You know, God loves me, I have my family. You know, I'm functioning. I'm not in a hospital and all these different things. You know, so that's one thing I would say, to look at life on a different.
That was really good. Thank you. Friendy, I'm gonna start you with your conclusion. Friendy always say, what? He gonna get it. I haven't said it yet, but he gonna get it once I say it.
He already knows.
Friendy always say this, and I feel like this relates to a lot to this topic about, you know, getting on, you know, not just this pill, but any type of drug. You know, because there's a lot of medical drugs out there that people are taking, like painkillers is another one that people get addicted to a lot. I know a lot of people who take painkillers and they become addicted to these things. Friendy, you always say, you know, it's a Creole saying, maybe I could translate in English, whoever is a good translator. It says that, you know, gâte pas mal, mais c'est fixé à qui.
Gardez pas mal, c'est le bras de manger.
Say it in English.
Making it like
Messing yourself up is easy.
but
Fixing yourself is gonna be harder.
Oh,
You
that's
get
like
it?
credit. It's easy to, you know, have a bad credit, but bring that to 800 is
Basically.
climbing Mount
It's
Everest.
costing you an arm and a leg, but
Yeah.
Right. It's easy to lose money, but it's hard to gain it. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So it's in that sense. Sometimes it's easy for us to mess ourselves up. You know, to make a mistake. It takes a second, right? But and also it's we could say with trust, it's hard to build trust, but it's easy to lose trust. So that's why it kind of reminds me of this, like, you know, taking these pills. It's easy to start taking and get on it, but it's when you're getting off of it.
Say like life is spiritual, so if you find yourself like you're battling like mental health issues, not just depression, like it's not of God, and so like the medications are not going to, it's gonna be unbundled. So it depends on how long you've been taking the medications, because some medications you can't just stop right away, like it's literally gonna kill you. Like so understanding that life is spiritual, so therefore you have to take it to the spiritual realm. You have to take it to God. Like no one, like therapy and so on and so forth. You need deliverance, and deliverance can be self. Like you could do it for yourself. You don't need a pastor to lay hands on you or anything like that. You could grab a Bible. Like God knows what you're going through, and He knows the level of assistance that you need. But like knowing that there's entities that are fighting against you. There's entities that want you to kill yourself. Like those thoughts are not even your thoughts. Like, you know, so understanding that and just starting from there, like getting some spiritual knowledge of what's going on, who you are in God, who's your identity, what your identity is, whether you believe in Jesus or not. Like there's only one God. So like going to that and then just kind of like starting from there, because it's a battle. Like you can either lose your life, because even those people that are in drugs, again, they're not themselves. So you can either find your life through Jesus, or you decide to go through the science route and to be dependent, and then going out and in and out of psychiatric wards, in and out. Yeah.
We're going through a tough trial. Why are our first thoughts usually to end our life?
because it seemed easier. I never had suicidal thoughts.
It's because it feels
Oh, that's good.
I never had suicidal thoughts.
Praise God. We thank God for that, guys. God is good. And we don't pray that over you at all.
Oh no, we ain't got to worry about none of that.
In Jesus' name.
I feel like we haven't seen the beauty in life, because when you have a true relationship with God and understanding your purpose and why you're here, you begin to see like why life exists. Like He didn't bring us here to struggle and work and pay bills and do. So when you begin to get out of that mindset, right, you begin to appreciate life more. And as you appreciate, like, I'm here on a mission. God, you have sent me to do something here. So therefore, my life is gonna be to do what it is that I'm here for. So you're not thinking about, oh yeah, like I'm just gonna like kill myself. And like for me personally, I just knew that that's a direct ticket to hell. So I'm gonna be like, you know what, like I'm just not gonna sign my own name on the book of death. Like no. So yeah.
Sometimes we don't even know that though. Like
that, yeah.
Like we don't. Like when I was a kid, I had suicidal thoughts, but it's like I felt like I didn't have nobody to listen to what I was saying, feel what I feel. I didn't have anyone to guide me, to show me God's way, or I didn't know anything of that. I was going to church because my people was going to church. I'm not saying I ain't really care about God, but I ain't really care about whatever everybody else had going on. I was so into how I was feeling. But it's like Monica said, we can't depend on how we feel, but I know that now. But back then, middle school me was not feeling like that. It was feeling me against the world. And it's like I knew of God, but I was like, God, why are you letting me go through this? Why are you letting me feel like this? Like, back then, I ain't know suicide was a sin. So I was like, God, I'm gonna come see you right now. Like, what's up? But
I'm pulling up on you right now.
yeah, but shoot, if middle school me knew I was going to hell back there, I promise you I would have never thought about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna add to that actually, because part of like schooling, like especially like for psychology, is that they don't want you to say that, oh yeah, like suicide and killing yourself is gonna lead you to hell. Like they don't believe in that, and they don't want you as a therapist to share that to whoever it is that you're helping, that oh yeah, like you're going to, it's a fable, it's a myth, it's not real, it's not gonna happen, it's not a sin. So a lot of people are not even aware that yes, if you kill yourself, you're going directly to hell. Like people are not even aware that it's a sin. So
I think even the Christians that do commit suicide, I do believe that they know deep down in their heart that they want God. Yeah. But when your thoughts and your heart is consumed with just doing this one particular action that seems so free, and that's what most people, why do you want to commit suicide? Why the thought of suicide comes? Because it's free. Nobody has to deal with me anymore if I'm gone. But failing to realize because of your death, we have to deal with more traumatic situations because of it.
When you have these people that you're preaching to, people coming in and out, and they come in with demons and stuff like that. Yeah. And you casting these demons out in the name of Jesus, right? Mm-hmm. Who do you think these demons are going to get mad at?
They're going to get mad at the person that's casting them out.
How much soul do I have? I have one soul, right? Mm-hmm. And how many souls, if you have 1,000 members that you praying over? Imagine all these thousands of souls coming at me for praying over that person in the name of Jesus, right? Now, the good thing is, like, to somebody who have, like, a good relationship with God is that, Jesus got them, protects them. Some of them fell because they casting these demons out in the name of Jesus. And then when these demons want blood, they coming at you now. And where are these members? Do they pray for you sometimes? A lot of times they don't pray for you. You helping them out, and they leave. Oh, thank you, God. But then you still got to leave this church, bro. And all these demons that you just said, fire or whatever, you burn them, they gonna get at your neck, bro. And until they get you, they won't stop. And they're going to keep multiplying. So that's why, leaders, they have one of the hardest jobs in the church. So a lot of people take that light, and that's not something that people should really take light.
The congregation is not doing their service, as in keeping him covered, keeping him in prayer. Sometimes it could be the works of the married. They don't want to get a divorce, so they rather commit suicide instead of getting divorced. And they feel like they're not. If they feel like they're not living up to what the standard is of a pastor or even being a man, they're gonna commit suicide. Even if you look at the statistics of why people commit suicide, what's reason behind suicide, and well, let me not say reasons. When you look at the ratio of who commits suicide in America, like it's majority men. Why majority men are committing suicides? Because when they feel like they failed, the only way I can eradicate my failure is by taking myself out the equation. How can I take myself out the equation? I can't stop being a man, and I can't go back to being a child. If I die, nobody can come with me with a solution anymore, because I'm no longer here. Y'all gonna have to deal with it, or y'all gonna have to find somebody else to replace me.
And what do you, when you say the man is the head of the family and stuff like that, right?
That's
guess what? When it comes to get attacked in the spiritual world, if you the head, before you get to the women, you gotta get through me first, which is the men. And that's why you think men is going through so much stuff.
And that's why a lot of men do commit suicide in this country, because it's not saying it's not tough being a woman. It is super being tough as a woman because of the things that go through your body and the changes that you have to go through. But being a man, when everybody's looking to you for a solution, looking for you to be a problem solver, looking for you to be the strongest person in the household, it is super tough to be that man. And I know some women try to play a man role too, and they start to explain. There was a lady.
That's Satan's favorite way of having it.
That's what happened to a man when he feel like failure. He feel like he's far worse than a homeless person, because now nobody respect what you have to say, what you got to do, and what you want to do, what you can do for the people. So there's numerous reasons why men commit suicide, and there's so much more reasons why men in ministry or people in ministry commit suicide, because of the scrutiny and the things that you have to go through. And even seeing on the spiritual side of it, who else is covering you?
Yeah,
like I'm covering y'all, but who's covering me?
Yeah.
Talked about the importance of men's mental health, because I feel like, and our girls may hate me for this, but we're responsible for a lot of it.
That's Bible. I don't know part in the book. That's Bible right there.
Don't argue now.
We are, and I feel like we need to give them a rest and a break, because sometimes it get all about us.
Yeah.
Like we're the only ones that get emotional, whatever. They too get those emotions. They get emotional, and has a sister, has a wife, has a cousin, whatever role you play, has a woman in a man's life. I feel like it's so important. It's so important, because he could come and have a bad day, and then here we are adding to it, you know?
But sometimes we try to go to them and we try to make them talk about it, and they build up a wall over us. They don't want to talk to us or nothing. Like I'll be like,
I ain't gonna lie.
how you get them?
Sorry, can we stop this conversation here? This is a good conversation. Forget suicide. If we get to this route, we don't got to worry about suicide no more or depression. Let's get to this route.
Okay, sometimes like I'll go to my brother and I'll be like, I see you been down lately. I see you haven't been acting like yourself. Didi, bro, it's like I could open up to Steven about anything, but when it comes to Didi, it's like it ain't even a wall. It's a brick. It's the house in between us, and it's like I can't really open up about myself. No, seriously, like I really can't.
Cause I be trying. No, I'm agree, cause I'm talking about Friendly. Friendly be like, it's like pulling teeth, yo.
Bro, sometimes it's something so simple, like something exciting happened about my day, and I still can't go to him because it's such a thick wall. And I'm like, Didi, are you good? Like, cause I'm very open. I'll tell you what's up with me. I'll share I promise you, I'll come to everybody here. You could really call my friend Shauna right now, and I'll pour out something about myself, and it'll feel like you ain't really caring about what I gotta say, or you'll be like, it's not that serious. Seriously, I've literally talked to my friend about it, but with my brother, that wall is like 20 times worse, and it's honestly annoying to the point where even if I have a day, I'm like,
I understand.
I'm like, forget it. I'm gonna keep it to myself, or I'm gonna call Nisha, cause I don't care what she gotta say. I'm gonna tell her, right? Or I'm gonna tell Steven. Like, there's stuff Steven know about
Well,
me
I
more. I
guess
can't.
there's men here in the room, we could throw this back at them because I understand where you're coming from because that's what's funny about this all the time.
It hurts.
So into that, yes, I do believe us women play a big role into guys' men's mental health. But it's, like she said, there's another side to it too, where men has built up this wall where, and it's like, yo, when you do have that woman or that sister, that wife, that sibling who do want to, put you in a position to be vulnerable, y'all don't want to let them in.
All right.
I have to work on
Yeah,
that.
Hold on, I feel like
That
you
is
got
100%.
right back yourself.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Ash.
I don't know. I feel like just add into it because my brother, bruh,
We all have
brother problems.
no, this man is not opening up at all. Like there's no. I'm like, is there? I know you feel because you.
Yeah, and it's
You're
like,
not
what
a
can
robot.
I do to make you more comfortable? Like,
Right.
because sometimes I don't want to.
something.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Monica.
I think sometimes men pay attention to your patterns
Mm-hmm.
and what you may have said to
I was just
before.
about to say that.
They could kind of use whatever you did that they know, like, you gonna weaponize my vulnerability against me. I'm gonna be honest with you
That's not
because
even-
That's-
so why don't y'all point it
No,
out?
but-
No, but speaking for me, I'm talking
I
for
taught
me
my kid well.
because
Now, kid.
let me talk.
Oh no, I
Because
taught her.
anyways,
New
like
Jersey
my little brother, he's vulnerable with me, right? Even though sometimes it's tough. My older cousin, he's vulnerable with me, right? And I have Ash and I have like a couple of people that they open up to me, so it's kind of like I hear some of the responses and some, yes, I have experienced it with some men, but I can't say that for every man. So it's kind of like, be honest about yourself. What are you doing
Exactly.
that people don't want to open up to you? Are you like, what safe space are you creating for them? That's just the honest truth.
Yeah, because
You feel me? Because
I feel
it's
like I
like,
did my service with her.
Just because y'all siblings don't mean
yeah,
they need to
maybe
say-
you didn't provide that for them, or maybe you made them minimize how they feel. So it's kind of like, I mean, for you guys, it's different. You guys are married, but the honest truth is kind of like, do you really? Because sometimes us women, we always feel like we're right. We gotta be heard. Oh, what did it? No, sometimes you gotta be quiet and sit back and listen. You feel me? And then say something. You don't. Sometimes a man don't need you to come up with a solution. They just need to vent. And so because they're logical beings and they're reasoning in their own head. And sometimes they just need to tell you, and then they'll be like, okay, what do you think? Blah blah blah, whatever. Then you can give your opinion. So honestly, you really have to look within. Because if you're doing something that's not consistent in your life, then it's you.
All right. So I'm proud.
I need to wait for you to be done.
I'm very, very proud of you, kid.
I gotta say, I gotta say, what you're saying is true though, but I like what you're saying. It's good on one side, like so overall, men do have this thing though, like I really think it's because at a young age, since it's in
I was gonna
us,
say that.
since it's in us to provide. What can you do on 10, 12, or maybe 14 or whatever? You can't really just go out there and just go and get the best job or whatever and stuff like that. But at a young age, it's in you to provide,
To be
especially
strong and
to be
provide.
strong and do all these things, especially when you watch your parents going through stuff. Oh yeah, I gotta provide, I gotta do this, I gotta take care of my sisters, brothers, and stuff like that. So they try to make you feel like I have to rush in life, but then you can't. So it creates this wall where let's just say you're trying to be a millionaire right now. You can't just wake up tomorrow and be a millionaire. So the fact that you can't if it's gonna take you a year or two, you do that whole year thinking about that million, how stressful you are about it. But then that 1 year that you're just stressing about it, it creates this thing inside of you that makes you whole without you even knowing it. So by the time you get older, and then you do get somebody that's trying to make you open up and stuff like that, and then you so used to saying, I'm good, I'm straight, I got it. Me, I did I grew up without a dad. I don't know what it feels like to have a dad and stuff like that, So basically God raised me in a way as a father figure. I remember when I came here, I did almost 8 years at my auntie house. Not talking at all. Ever since I came, they would talk and say all these things, and then I would not speak back. I hear it though. It don't make me feel good. But then for 7.5 years, not speaking back, it do something to you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like, you know, you just acting like it goes through here and go out and nothing stays. That's right. Yeah, right. Something stays. You know, so he built this wall where, like, you know, you don't know how to talk to people like that. I'm straight, I got it. I did 7 years or whatever. That's why men used to be like, you know who I am though, I'm a tough, I'm this, I'm from the hood, I'm this, I'm that. But then it's not about the hood though, like, you know, what's wrong with you right now? You know? So men like to do that a lot. They trying to like use their wall in a way to say they straight. But then they're not.
I'm gonna take it a step further. What he said is correct. Monica said is correct as well. One of the reasons why men do not express their vulnerability or give you the opportunity, like that barrier that they have, is because someone down the line, it could be a woman, it could be a sister, it could be a mother, weaponize what they share against them. And anything you do, anything that we share with a woman, no matter if it could be a sister. I'm not saying that you did something to Didi or any way, shape, or form. It could have been anybody else who did something to you, right? Once you show me that you can use something that was where I was naked with you against me, best believe you will never get that access to me again.
Yeah, it's very hard, straight up.
It's because the second, and plus two, there's another. It does take one person, but there's also another second thing to it as well too. Society is pushing this agenda that we have to be these tough individuals that can't share. If I cry, you gonna size me, and it's for a fact that our women, when they see a man cry, especially their dude cry, some form of respect. It may not be y'all women here, but some form of respect starts to be decreased for that individual man, because now it's gonna be like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's me.
Because the second you y'all say these things now, and I can prove it. Not saying that I know who you really are as an individual, and I'm not saying that y'all sisters here, but you gotta understand, when a man is broke, what's the first thing a woman say? Bro, you can't go get a job. That's not the first thing you want to hear.
Man.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That's deep.
Why can't you get in the job? Fam, how many people gonna say things happen when they know things are like, you can lose a job, I can lose a job at the same time. Yeah. But one thing that not saying you per se, one thing that's gonna happen, you gonna say, why can't you get a job? That's the first thing that's gonna come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Because every word that y'all do say, it does hold. Every word that women say does hold weight, because y'all the most important things to us. It could be a mother, it could be a sister, it could be a girlfriend or a wife. What y'all say matters.
Because y'all working hard for us.
Exactly.
Imagine.
So if I'm getting persecuted, not only by the people outside my house, and I'm also getting persecuted by the very person that I claim to love or have love for me, I will keep that wall up until I see reason for it to put that thing down.
And it's gonna be harder for you to put it down, bro.
Oh no. It's not necessarily. It is hard. It's harder for y'all to get to us, is what I'm saying. Because the thing about it, a man needs his respect. If I keep my guards up, you're going to always respect me. You may not respect the fact that I'm not putting these guards down, but you're going to respect me as being a man. You don't see me cry, you see me go out and go do it, but yet the part that you want is the intimacy part of us. I can physically have sex with you, I can do those things, activities with you, kiss you and stuff like that, but yet you never got to me. One of the questions I always ask a woman, two questions I ask. Do you know how to make a man comfortable, and do you know how to get him to be vulnerable? Because every woman can get a man to be comfortable. You can get me out of my clothes. You can get me to do certain lovey-dovey stuff with you, but you never got the opportunity to see me vulnerable, where I can really share with you the deepest, darkest fears. And some dudes do that with y'all. They will say for instance, they will share they've been molested with you, right? And mind you, that the thing that she mentioned about the pattern, I'm paying attention. After I shared this deep thing with you, I am paying attention to every pattern that you do, everything that you say. So even if you want to joke around or make a slick remark, that is being documented against you. That's one thing I share with her every time. Men do not forget nothing. They remember everything you said from the very first day. Even if they act like they forgot with you, them boys didn't forget, bro. Because they're paying attention to the pattern. Because we're logical.
Oh yeah, that's facts.
We're logical.
Take it home.
Okay. We're logical beings. So if stuff is not adding up, it ain't, you know how this society say it ain't mathing? It ain't mathing.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you said this, that, and the third from the very beginning. I remember you said this January 1st, 2022.
Hey,
Oh, no,
I'm gonna forget.
No,
Forget what I said. Oh.
exactly.
I'm gonna forget. No, I'm gonna forget everything.
No. But it's not, you're not the only one that does that. Because you, say for instance, if a man was to forget a very valuable date to you, say for instance like your anniversary, you won't be on his case about that, right? But a man would never.
Why you not remember?
But a man would never forget the disrespect you gave him the first time, in the first year of y'all dating with each other. He would never forget that sign. He would never let it will be etched on his heart. So when the day you asking this man to, hey yo, I just want to have this. Yeah, baby, he's gonna listen to. He's gonna hear you be vulnerable. But the day for he's gonna give you probably little drops of water. And imagine how many drops of water it had to take for you to actually get to this man. Because now when he go to his homeboy, so say for instance, I'm dating my sister. I'm dating Sister Monica, right? And now Monica wants me to be vulnerable with her. I'm just listening to her, but I'm like, nah, I can't. Yo, friend, yo, bro, this is what happened. And I break down to him.
Yeah.
And I'm like that. Then next thing you know, he say, hey, yo, we good, bro, this and that, third. I go back to my wife, oh, I'm Gucci.
Yeah.
All Superman again. But she will never get that. And there's married couples that go through that and experience that. You feel me? And I want to piggyback on something I told you yesterday. I'm not saying, I'm not saying, because this is what leads a lot of men to cheating. I'm not saying this is right, but I do want y'all to understand these things before it can ever happen to you. When a man do not feel appreciated, y'all think buying a dude gifts matters. It doesn't. And honestly, maybe to some dudes, it does not matter. If I cannot feel at home, I want you to understand these words. If I do not feel at home with you, bro, best believe I'm renting from here. Regardless if I'm in a relationship with you. I want y'all to take this home with y'all. If I do not feel at home, if this is not my safe keeping, if this is not the safest place, because I already got the world against me, I already got society against me, I already got my pockets against me, I already got the enemy against me, and the only person I'm looking to come to, and my mom not here no more, you my wife. If you're not the safest person for me, fam, best believe I'm gonna find, quote unquote, somebody else that's gonna make me feel safe. Though you gonna play your role as my wife, she's gonna play her role as in this particular entity, and my homeboy is gonna be the person I'll be the most intimate with. That's why when you see men have that strong relationship with their homeboy, and a lot of women think that's gay, y'all really don't know what them boys going through. Because them boys gonna feel, I will feel close. I barely know him. But I know for a fact I could come to him, cry to him, whatever, X, Y, and Z. Can I do that to a person I've been with for 10 years? No. Because you already showed me through a pattern or through a thing that you did. Even when you, and this is another thing, ladies, please, please, please be very mindful of what you say when you're emotional. Be very mindful. That dude is paying attention. That dude is paying attention. Because yes, you are mad because something did not go your way. But what you say will hold more weight on me like you ain't never imagined. So now the day I cannot share that intimate part with you, that's holding weight on you now. And that's what leads women to step out, so on and so forth, because they can't find that vulnerability from their man. But if you do not show me appreciation, make me feel at home, bro, I'm gonna rent from here for a very long time, and I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do out there. Or he's just gonna stay there and just never say nothing until the day he died. And I know there was a story where a father never shared anything. Never shared anything with his wife. Like, I'm talking about intimate stuff. Never shared anything with his wife. Never shared anything with his kids. The day he died, his kids did not cry. The wife cried, the kids did not cry. But in his will, he said, the reason I never shared anything is because every time when I had the opportunity, every time I wanted to share something with y'all, y'all never gave me the opportunity because y'all always threw something back in my face. And even to the wife, she's thinking she was a good one. I'm not saying she wasn't. She did everything to the best of her ability and the best of the knowledge that she had. She did everything in her power, and he stated to her, I was with you for 30-something years. I would say I'm going to just use them 30 years. But in them 30 years, bro, the first time I ever felt intimacy with you was in year 1. And the last time I felt intimacy with you was year 5. But I've been with you for 30 years. That's something I do not want none of y'all to experience. You don't want a man to be with you and he's just an empty vessel with you. You want him to actually be present with you. Amen. You want him to actually feel appreciated from you. You want him to feel loved. Because the thing about it, when I leave my mom, the person that cared for me, regardless of what she had said or did for me, I'm looking to you now as a mother, as a sister, as a wife, as my lover, as my best friend, as my consultant, as everything else I can imagine. Most dudes so down with their doms, and they want to be down with their doms. I mean, in love with their girl, but women do certain things emotionally or irrationally that leads them to not get that particular opportunity. There's some stuff, yeah, women do have to work on when it comes to us, and there's some stuff we do have to work on when it comes to y'all. But I'll definitely tell you now, when it comes to who has it hard, when it comes to the romantic, emotional side, men, they won't share anything with you. I will tell you love you every day, but I would never actually be present in the love that I give you.
Thank you so much,
Oh, yes.
Brother
No,
Ash.
yes.